Good morning, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the webinar today by Passport USA. We're going to talk today about securing a U.S. visitor visa. You know, I know this is it's a big topic, especially for physical therapists all over the world that want to come to the U.S. and oftentimes they're going to use this visa to come and take their exams. And there have been some issues with issuing visitor visas. And I know candidates get very excited when they get to the embassy and they get very nervous. So hopefully we're going to help you get through the hurdles of getting a visitor visa. I am Katie Glazer. I work here at Health Carousel Passport USA. Your visitor visa today. You know, the purpose of today's webinar, like I said, we're going to talk about the infamous visitor visa. I'm also going to address, you know, who we are as Passport USA. I'm going to talk about what a visitor visa is. I think everyone has a general idea about what a visitor visa is. I'm going to talk about the differences between the types of visitor visas, a B1, B2, what the requirements and limitations are of a visitor visa. I think some going to get a visitor visa, and they can be denied, and it can be very traumatic for a candidate. You know, we'll talk about who we are today. We are Passport USA. Passport USA is a division of Health Carousel. Passport USA deals with all international recruiting and staffing. We are based here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we were founded in 2012. We do have an office in the Philippines, right in Manila, and we have a great staff over there that helps all of our candidates from the Philippines and from the Middle East. So if you are a Filipino and you are in the Middle East, or some of our other Middle East candidates will go through our Philippines office. We also have Indian partners that we work with. We work with Commit, that is a credentialing agency there in India. And we also work with Medical Outsourcing Solutions, better known as MOS2Us. They also help candidates get their general credits in India, and we work with them also to place candidates. But we also have other U.S.-based partners, Therapy Exam Prep, better known as TEP to us. You know, there's a link there on the screen, and they will help you study and pass NPTE. You know, I know a lot of you go to review centers in the country that you're from. If you're from the Philippines, I know a big one is the St. Louis Review Center. However, you know, we have worked with TEP, and we feel that they have a great program for, you know, especially for the cost. So if you've gone through St. Louis Review Center and you haven't had success with it, you definitely want to try Therapy Exam Prep. Or if you're in India and you don't have any resources there or any review centers, you definitely want to try this out. You can go to the website and you can do this remotely. And another partner that we have here in the U.S. is International Auto Source. This is an agency that will help you get a car when you get here to the U.S. That is, you know, it can be difficult to get a car here in the U.S. without credit. So we work with them to help you get a car. You know, what we do here at Passport USA is recruit foreign-trained medical professionals. We recruit PTs, OTs, speech-language pathologists, registered nurses, med techs, and we place them on Okay, we just got something on our telephone, so I hope everyone can hear us right now. I'm going to ask our technical person here just to check the dialog box. Okay, so hopefully you all can hear us right now. And I will just continue going on here. Passport USA also helps the candidates get U.S. visas. We do sponsor our candidates that work for us for H-1Bs and EB-2s. We provide credentialing advice for you. We give you resources to help you pass TOEFL. We tell you where you should get your credentials reviewed. We tell you how to go and get your U.S. license. We have 3 attorneys here in the U.S. office, myself being one. John Dawson, who works on licensing and immigration here, he is actually on the controls today. Say hi, John.
Hello, everyone.
Normally, John would either be hosting a webinar on immigration and licensing, but today he is our technical guide because the gentleman who normally does that is out today. So thank you, John, because I would not be able to do it myself. And, you know, I also wanted to address that we do provide relocation services here for all of our PTs that come and work for us, and reimbursements for licensure expense that you've already paid on your own behalf. We give you bonuses when you come to us with those types of credentials, such as TOEFL, U.S. license, NPTE. So those are all things you want to check in with us if you're, you know, being recruited out of our U.S. office, our Philippines office, or through an Indian agent. And then we provide U.S. employment. We place therapists at client hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, rehab facilities, and then home health agencies across the United States. There is definitely many places for you to work. I think sometimes people just think that they can work at a hospital, but you know that's actually not where most of the jobs are. So our expertise, again, is immigration. We work with 2 outside counsels as well. There are 2 of the leading immigration law firms here in the United States, Masillo, Unken Hold Immigration Law, and their website is up on the screen, and also Hammond Law. Great attorneys at both. We are also members of the American Association of International Healthcare Workers. You can go to their website at aairh.org. Great website. It will show you that, we believe in the ethical treatment of foreign trained professionals with recruitment. And they are also, one of the reasons how we've been able to really help people get visitor visas after some of the issues we've had. So, up on the board now, you'll see, a map of the United States. All those little cute little sun places are where we have client locations right now. We are growing leaps and bounds, and I think next time we'll see this, there'll be a star in every state. And if you see like a little star in Texas, you'll see 3. I have a lot more people in Texas working than 3 people. It's just, this is a general idea of where we have jobs. So we wanted to let you know if those are places you're looking to go, definitely, contact us. Now, again, the purpose of today's webinar is to talk about visitor visas. Let's talk about what a visitor visa is. Generally, a citizen from a foreign country who will come to the United States must obtain a visa. And it's either going to be a non-immigrant visa for a temporary stay or an immigrant visa for permanent residency. So those are our 2 options, non-immigrant intent and then immigrant intent. The visa allows a foreign trained citizen to travel to a U.S. port of entry and request for permission to come into the country. The visitor visa is a non-immigrant visa for people coming to the U.S. So it means that you are only coming for a temporary stay. They are going to give you a visa that has, a set date on it. You can enter on this date and you must leave by this date. And you will either come on for one purposes, either a B1 for business reasons, or a B2, which is for pleasure or medical treatment, or a combination of the 2. Now, a visitor visa based on business, the B1, is for purpose of traveling to the United States to consult with business associates. You're going to a convention. You're coming to, coming for a quick educational, I want to go see a school. They consider that all as part of, a business venture, if you're going to buy a piece of land here, you're going to get a B1 visa. That's what you are going to apply for when you go to the U.S. Embassy. And we also will have this webinar as a printout that you will be able to, you could email to us, and there'll be an email at the end that we can send you this in a PDF version so that you can read through this as well, because there's some other information that we probably won't cover because it won't be, pertinent to you. We also want to talk about the B2 visa. This is for pleasure, tourism, and medical treatment. So to start off with, pleasure and tourism, that's kind of, pretty general idea what people think the visitor visa is for. I'm coming to the U.S. to go to Disneyland for a week, or I'm coming to visit my family, or go to a sporting event. You're going to apply for a B2 visa. You're also going to apply for a B2 visa if you're seeking medical treatment if you are sick, but obviously that's not a main focus of our topic today, because hopefully you aren't coming for medical treatment and that you're all healthy. Also sometimes people think that they can come and get a B2 visa if they're going to take 1 or 2 classes. If you're going to take, for school, if you're going to take over 18 hours a week of coursework, you have to get a student visa. When in doubt, always get a student visa, an F1 or a J1 visa for courses. Otherwise, you're going to get a B2 visa if it's just, a quick seminar. A lot of people say, well, how do I qualify for a visitor visa? There are specific So you have to show them that you're going to leave the United States. And this is how you would do that, is you're going to show them the purpose of your trip is for. I'm going to go for a business convention. I'm going to go take NPTE. I'm going to go and, visit my family in Wichita, Kansas. So you want to show them that you have a trip planned, you have a trip home, that you have funds to cover your trip to the United States. So if you can only show them that you have enough funds to get to the United States and no way back, they will not let you out of the country. You also want to show that you have compelling and social economic ties where you are at home. And you also want to show them that, what are your family ties, what are your money ties back here. But those are all very important things that you have to show them, or they're going to assume that you're never leaving the United States. General documents, oh, sorry, I'm skipping a slide there. Applying for a visitor visa, generally you're going to go and apply to U.S. Embassy or a consulate, that is close to you. There are a lot fewer in the Philippines than there are in India. In India, there are so many that you can go to. So you want to make sure you're getting one that's close to you. And as part of the application process, you're going to go to the embassy. You're going to make an appointment to talk to them, and they're going to basically review all the evidence and your application and decide if you can come to the United States and you qualify for a visitor visa. If you are between the ages of 14 and 79, obviously you don't actually need to do that. Most of these requirements also you can get from the U.S. State Department. So if you log on to their website, they have extremely detailed wording, and you can get your DS-160 application right on there. And they'll have a little bit more detail than we have here. Again, some of it is just stuff you would, they cover stuff like countries that, have waivers. That's just not what we're going to cover here today, and it's mainly not going to affect most of you. So we feel that this is the most information that you'll need. However, you can check out the U.S. State Department website, and this is where we got a lot of our information. Documents that you are going to need when you go to make your appointment or to make your appointment. You're going to have to fill out a DS-160 application. John, can you go back for a second? Sorry, we just clicked there ahead, sorry. You're going to need a valid passport for travel to the United States. You're going to need a photo, a 2x2 photo, and you're going to be required to submit a fee. It's estimated, it depends, what country you're in, but they're about $140. So again, there's a link to the State Department website on there, so you should definitely check it out if you're looking for specific fees for your country. Now, you'll also need additional documents when going to the embassy. You want to, again, make sure that you're showing them that you're going to come back, evidence that shows the purpose of the trip, the intent to depart the United States, arrangements that you've made to cover the costs of the trip. If it is at all possible, bring specific documentation. Bring a plane ticket, a non-refundable plane ticket. Show them, I have a bank account here. This is where my mother lives. This is why I'm coming home. You want to give them as much documentation as possible. Those applicants that don't have significant documentation or evidence showing that they do not have non-immigrant intent will be denied a visa. Now, are visitor visas denied? Absolutely. Again, I've told you why they deny visas. However, I know candidates get very scared when they go into the embassy. So the first thing I want to tell you, besides all the documentation, you want to have all of that before you go. But before you go to the embassy that day, you want to be calm. I know it's exciting to get in there, and you're going to be asked all these different types of questions. People get in there and they get nervous, and when you look nervous, it looks like you're doing something bad. So you want to, if you have the right documentation, and you're really only going to the United States for a set purpose, like going to take NPTE, there is nothing to be nervous about, okay? If your biggest thing is being denied a visitor visa, you can always apply again. They will, you can go back with more evidence. So if it is denied, it's not a big deal. And, the biggest question that we get from candidates, well, I don't want to go get a visitor visa because if it's denied or I've already been denied once, I probably won't be able to get an H-1B visa, or I probably won't be able to get a green card. I will tell you now, it has absolutely zero bearing on any future visa success on an H-1B or a green card if you've been denied a visitor visa. I have candidates that have gone to the embassy 4 and 5 times and have been denied visitor visas, and then they get an H-1B, no problem. They are very different visas, so don't worry about it. Go in, be relaxed, and you'll have a better chance at a successful issuance of a visitor visa. Okay, so a big topic that always drives me crazy is candidates wanting to stay beyond their authorized stay. And this is a big reason why visitor visas are also denied, is because the embassy feels that, they give people a visitor visa and then they come to the U.S. and they either overstay their welcome, they are trying to extend their visitor visa. What I tell candidates are, if you're issued a visitor visa for 3 months, they can be issued anywhere from 1 month to 6 months. Some are issued for a year, but most of the time, on average, I'd say anywhere between 3 and 6 months. Depends what your business is. You have to go back to your home country. That is the biggest. I would not suggest staying here in the United States and trying to extend your visitor visa, because it's probably not going to happen unless you have a really compelling reason why. You're going to irk the people that you're doing it with. So I would say go back home, and if you want to come back, go and get a new visitor visa. Granted, you have the extra cost of filing for a plane ticket, but it shows them that you went to the United States and you returned home, that you are trustworthy enough to be able to do it again. So you want to check dates on your visa. There are going to be two dates. There's going to be, the expiration date of your visitor visa, and you're also going to get a stamp on your I-94 card when you enter the country. It's a stamp that goes in your visa, and it says, you entered a U.S. port on, March 26th, and they want you to leave on this date. Basically, you want to look on the date of your I-94 card. That will always be your controlling date. Now, if your I-94 card states that you need to leave before the actual date of the expiration of your visa, you should leave the country then, because that's really the date that they're going to look at. Even if it's a couple days before, most of the time the I-94 is listed about 10 days after. So if your visa is going to expire on April 1st, your I-94 date may say April 10th. So it gives you 10 days to actually leave the country. If you do not leave the country and you stay beyond your authorized stay, you start to collect unlawful entry in the United States. And I can tell you now, it will make you ineligible for visas in the future. So if you came to us and said, I went to the U.S. to take NPTE on a visitor visa, and I stayed for an extra month, I'm telling you, I'm going to be very hesitant about filing an H-1B for you, because it is likely it could be denied because you did not comply with the rules of your visitor visa. And counsel to you, always leave on the date that's stated on your visa. Now, visitor visas for physical therapists taking NPTE. Historically, a lot of candidates have come on visitor visas. We just had a boatload come for the March exam. We will have a boatload come for the July exam on visitor visas. And, our offices will give each candidate coaching. These are the dates of your visa. This is when you're going to leave. This is when you'll be here. In the last couple years, there has been a major reduction in the number of visas issued to therapists taking NPTE on visitor visas. There have been, we'll talk about a couple issues that have popped up. Most of the reasons that they're citing, and the legit reasons, are there aren't enough significant family or economic ties in their home country. So they feel that, the candidate is likely not going to return to the Philippines, or likely not going to return to India because, most of their families in the United States now, or they don't have enough money to come back to, and it's more compelling for them to stay in the United States and work there. So that's the biggest reason. But, back in 2011, in February, the U.S. Consulate in Manila began denying visitor visas for candidates entering for NPTE. And they were denying it because they felt that the candidate needed a license to take the exam. This is not a proper reason to go. It's not a legitimate reason to go to the United States. They mistakenly assumed that the license is no longer needed and that you could get one with an H-1B. The good news here is, that was back in over a year ago, and much of those issues have been resolved through the AARH organization, the American Association of International Healthcare Recruitment. They really stepped it up. They went to the embassies and started, saying, this isn't a proper way. The visitor visa should be used for physical therapists. And we were able to get an extremely high success rate after they had gone into the embassies and worked with them to make sure that the visa laws were being applied correctly. Now, if you tell me that you go to the embassy and you're denied a visa, and it's for a reason that they feel that you should get an H-1B to go get a license, you should contact us immediately so that we can contact the AARH association and help you go get a visitor visa. Now, if they're telling you that you don't have strong enough economic ties or something like that, that's a different story. That's something else we'll need to work on. But, you know, where there was a holdup before in all the visitor visas, that is not happening right now. So you really should be going to the embassy to get your visitor visa to take NPTE. Corrective action in the Philippines and in India, again, as I just said, our representatives in D.C. Develop protocols with the embassy to you know, get these visitor visas approved. We engaged representatives recently in India because I know, you know, some candidates in India are still having a lot of problems. I welcome you to contact, if you're working through one of our agents, Commit or MOS, contact them, give them your information, and they will contact us. Or you can feel free to contact us directly, and we will be able to help you, put you in touch with a representative, and be able to contact the embassy to figure out what the issue is and why your visitor visa was denied. Now, here are some great tips. This is probably the most important page that you're going to take out of this. The tips for your embassy appointment. Number one, you want to fill out your DS-160 properly. You need to use the proper language in there. It needs to be compelling. If you do not have clear, compelling language on your DS-160, you will be denied a visa. If you are one of our candidates and you are going to get a visitor visa, you need to contact us here in the U.S. office. If you're in the Philippines, you need to contact our Philippines office. They will provide you with the correct wording for your DS-160. You're going to mention things such as Health Carousel is a member of the AARH Association. Health Carousel has offered you employment as a therapist contingent upon you securing your U.S. credentials, which is your NPTE passage. Health Carousel is sending you to the U.S. for a clear reason to take NPTE and that you will be returning. The therapist is not permitted to work in any way during the period on a visitor visa. These are all things that need to be stated in your DS-160. And again, you're going to use Health Carousel in the language on the application if you are one of our candidates. So again, if you are working through one of our Indian agents, you will contact them to get a letter from us and for the proper language to put in your DS-160. You want to present an ATT, which is your authorization to test for the NPTE. You want to show them you're scheduled for the exam on this date. This is why you're seeking the visa. You want to show them non-refundable airfare tickets. You know, I'm leaving for the U.S. on the 16th of April. I am returning on May 20th after I take the exam. So you want to make sure you have the non-refundable ticket to show them. I'm there and I'm coming home. You want to show them travel details. You know, I'm staying at this hotel. I'm checking out at this date. If you booked your ticket through a travel agent, show those details. Make it clear when you're returning. I'm staying at my aunt's house. It is here. She will be returning me to the airport on such and such a date. You want to show family and financial ties in your home country. You want to show that you have a bank account there. You want to show that if you have a spouse there or children there, that you intend to return to them. And this is something, if you give us the information, we will put in your support letter. Now, you want it to bring a visa application fee receipt. And then the most important thing you want to bring is if you are part of our agency or another agency, you need to bring a letter that states, you know, from your employer, we supply a letter that says, you know, we're Health Carousel, we're providing a job for this candidate, but they need to come, they need to take and pass NPTE. We will show, you know, any family ties that you have. We will show that we're affiliated with the AAIH our association. So that letter is very important if you are affiliated with us. And there is a sample of the letter. It shows you some of the detail that we do use and how it will look. You can see the little, Mr. Sample PT has family ties. His wife is based here, and he has a round trip ticket here. So that is an example of what the letter will look like if you work with us. Now, if you have any questions, you can feel free to type them in the dialog box down below, or you can feel free to send them to us at our U.S. office or our Philippines office or through any of our in agents. I do see one question up there. It says, how many months will we get a visitor visa if we are not able to clear the first time on our exam? Like I said, most of the time if they know you're coming for a set reason, you're coming to take the July 2nd exam, you're not going to get much more than, 1 to 2 months. So that might not be time for you, because if you're registered for the July 2nd exam, you can't just go and take the July, I think it's 31st exam, John. You can't just go and take that because the window will already be closed for you to register. So the next test after that would not be until October. So it is unlikely that your visitor visa will cover that time period. So you may have to go home and get a new visitor visa. I do not recommend that you stay on your visitor visa and try to extend it. I definitely do not recommend that. I recommend that you go home and that you come back on a different visitor visa, because they will see it as you trying to buck the system. Okay, so this candidate has been refused a student visa on 2 occasions. Will that have any bearing on your visitor visa? Absolutely not. You have to kind of take them as, different altogether. You have to go and show different things for each visa. So if you've been denied for an F1, I say go right ahead. Go and apply for your visitor visa. How much money we will need to prepare for a visitor visa? Well, you'll need the fee, but if you're asking how much, financial ties you'll need to show, it really depends on, the person that you're going to see at the embassy that's going to review your case, whether they think it's family, you have substantial ties there, financial ties. I would say that you have enough money that you're going to come home to have to get it. So if you're only showing that you have, I don't know what the equivalent is, $500 in your bank account here in the U.S., that's not a compelling reason to come home to, to the United States. So you want to show that you have enough money in your bank account. But other than that, to get your visitor visa, you just need the application fee. And then you'll need to show that you bought a plane ticket, so that can depend how much you pay for the ticket. It'll probably be anywhere between $800 and $1,500. Okay, somebody else, there's a big question here. It says, the contract from my last agency stated that they would let me stay in a hotel for a time that I'm going to take the NPTE in New York. I even indicated the name of the hotel on the visa application, but when I got there, I did not stay in the hotel. Rather, I stayed with my uncle. Will that affect my next application? I did not overstay my welcome. The only thing, the biggest thing that you were able to show is that you returned home before the date stamped in your I-94 exam. Your I-94 visa, not exam, sorry. Frankly, they want to see where you're staying, but if you changed where you're staying, that's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is returning home on the date that's on your I-94 card. You know, anything can happen once you get here. You could go to a hotel that, you know, decided not to open, or there was a fire and you have to go stay in a new hotel. As long as you return home on your last visitor visa, that's all you need to show. You're welcome. Let me just write thank you. It has been a pleasure speaking with you all this morning. I welcome you to visit our website at www.passportusa.com, and you can submit any questions there as well. If you are looking for an agency, you know, all I can tell you is we have very great things here. We have very great opportunities, and we take care of our candidates. And we do hope that you are able to secure a visitor visa. But if you are denied for a visitor visa, feel free to contact us, and hopefully we can help you through the process. Have a great rest of the evening there in India or the Philippines. I know it is late there. I'm very excited to hear from you in the